My fellow Ukrainians,
As of now, I am really thankful to you that you decided to join this kind of act of defiance, act of strong resolve. This is another sign that Ukrainian people will never back down, that we will prevail, as we are fighting for our liberty and for our country. 31 years ago, Ukrainians cast their ballots and voted in favor of Ukrainian independence. Starting with the 2014, and now, we are fighting for our independence. We are not alone. We are joined by the Western countries, and we are joined by everyone who stand behind democracy, liberty, and freedoms. Why and how we are to win this war? I want to reiterate that first, we have not to stop, but to win the war. In 2014, we managed to hold the war. And this was the way how to buy the time, how actually to build from the scratch Ukrainian military, how to rebuild and reinforce Ukrainian economy, and how to be ready for the next Russian assault. As of now, the only victory for Ukraine is to restore its territorial integrity entirely, including Donetsk, Lugansk, and Crimea. Otherwise, Russia and those who commit war crimes against humanity, and this is Russia and his crony elite, they will relaunch their war against the free Ukraine. This war is more than about Ukraine. And I want to address our international audience, just for you to understand the reason why it's so important to help Ukraine. We are fighting for your security, for your liberty, for your economy, for your sovereignty. We are fighting for the entire world. And here is the reason why. Putin waged the war not just against Ukraine. He waged the war against democracy. This is the war of light against the darkness of light, and he wants actually to shut down this light. This is the war of freedom against slavery. This is the war of democracy against dictators. The only option which is on the table is to win this war. So we have to join our ranks to circle the wagon, to defend the democracy and freedoms all over the world. The third issue which is on the table is that every single evil that is unpunished, it always reemerges and it always reappears. So in this contemporary world, we need to establish a special, separate court in order to bring to justice Russian military, Russian political elite, those who committed crimes against humanity, those who committed war crimes, to show everyone else in the world, I mean similar dictators, and these dictators, they are tracking, they are watching what is happening, who is to prevail, who is to take over, in order to show and to clearly send a signal to everyone in the world who supports this kind of autocracy and dictatorship, that they will be held accountable. And this goes with the criminal prosecution and financial one. And I want to be very clear that sanctions that have been imposed have to be ramped up, and every single Russian asset has to be both liquidated and confiscated. Russia is to pay for the rebuilding of Ukraine. The fourth issue is that as of now, we have so-called proactive policy. Proactive policy, and I don't want to dig into details, which is very clear-cut that Ukraine is to get more and more support from the Western world. And my message to our Western friends is that, look, investing into Ukraine, you invest into your own security and defense. This is the best ever investment to protect your homeland, supporting Ukraine. So ammunition, weaponry, and I would call a new kind of energy weaponry, energy shields. energy tools in order to help Ukraine to survive this winter is of crucial importance. And the fifth issue, which is not just reactive, but proactive policy. We need to think about the future, to think about day after tomorrow. What new world is to emerge? How is to rebuild Ukraine? How to make Ukraine a part of NATO and the European Union, and in this way actually to strengthen both NATO and the European Union. How to demilitarize, deimperialize, and then denazify Russia, as contemporary Russia is the threat to the global order, as contemporary Russia is the threat to the global democracy and to the freedoms of liberties. How to make the UN stronger, more legally binding and effective one. And how actually to impose a new, strong, democratic global order, the global order that defends civil rights, liberties, that goes after those who commit atrocities and war crimes. The global order which gives prosperity and wealth to the entire world. And Ukraine is a flagship of this new wave of new globe and new global structure. Ukraine will prevail. So, glory to Ukraine, and may God protect Ukrainian troops. Slava Ukraini!